We have to be able to receive each other as we are. So let's just make an agreement right now that wherever you came from, whatever you brought with you in your mind or your heart or your body is okay.
Probably the biggest misconception about empathy is that it's about sameness. But it's not. Empathy is truly about honoring difference. What I practice and teach is not about correction, it's about expansion. I'm not here to tell you how you should speak or act. I'm here to help you see and hear more than you do right now. Do you have the skills to be in dialogue with someone unlike yourself? Are you able to be curious about difference? Empathy is about listening beyond the point where you feel like you understand someone. It's about asking more questions and being curious about the place where you differ and honoring the uniqueness in another person's point of view. My name is Karen Faith, and I teach individuals and teams how to connect with one another through deep listening, observation, and radically non-judgmental perspective taking.
So we often think of empathy as a feeling of compassion for someone who's suffering. But what we know as designers that suffering is not the only experience we need to understand. We also need to know what makes people feel confident, what makes them feel joyful, what makes them do something positive to make a change. We need to know about so many more experiences than suffering, which is why empathy isn't about feeling, it's about doing.
This experience is not about correcting behavior or adopting a point of view. Empathy has no point of view. Empathy is about honoring the fact that all of ours are different. My background is in ethnographic customer research, which is an immersive, walk-in-your-shoes style of discovery. For years, I helped brands better connect with customers' deepest values by leaning into authentic curiosity and unconditional welcome. Before long, I came to understand that the skills I honed in the field were desperately needed inside the teams I worked with. Teams made of people with different expertise, different mindsets, different ways of processing their experience.
What I meant, what I said, what you heard, and what you understood are 4 different things in every communication. In a great communication, they're 4 similar things. But in a bad communication, you experience this. They could be extremely different. Empathy, as we practice it, is the practice of closing the gap between what I meant and what you understood.
I've seen the practice of empathy transform internal teams. In terms of their innovation and strategy, yes, but more importantly, in terms of their happiness, fulfillment, trust, and connection with one another. Empathy is a practice, not a feeling.
You had all these connections that were made between people who, we had new hires on our team. You start getting into these one-on-one conversations with each other in the breakout rooms that you had. You could tell that the connections between the people on the team were different coming out than they were going in.
It immediately in the workshop, it's almost like released a steam valve of people being like, oh, that's what empathy is. What happened was within 48 hours, it changed the dynamics of the entire team.
I think a lot of our team went into the training thinking well, I'm an empathetic person. I don't think I need training on this, but I know that everybody's socks were really knocked. In putting the practice to it and really sort of the exercises where, in breakout groups, we really had to literally interrogate each other. That's already proven really useful in our day-to-day work.
I'm not teaching an ideology. This work has no political agenda. It's not red or blue, religious or academic. This is a whole person practice to bring a divided world closer through authentic, honest, and kind one-on-one connections.
I've heard her speak before, actually, and every time I hear her speak, I just feel like I get something new.
For me, it was very enlightening about myself. I saw a lot of myself in her.
I'm here, you're here, and probably we have something to learn from each other, but mostly we have something to love about each other.
As she began to put her own experience on top of it, there was a humanity that made me feel as though it was a shared experience in a beautiful way.
Does it help marketing and collaboration? Is it good for innovation and sales? Yeah, you bet it is, but that's not the goal. Those are welcome side effects of getting real with ourselves and one another. And it's fun. Trying on other points of view is hilarious. It's uncomfortable, it's humbling. It's a chance to take ourselves less seriously and welcome one another more sincerely.